Progressives face steep odds in ousting incumbent Democrats. Of course, and they better not tweet about it either. So this is the article here. Progressive candidates are launching primary challenges against incumbents like Representative Henry Cooler of Texas, though many will likely face a steep climb in capturing the same set of circumstances that propelled Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to the House last year. Justice Democrats, the group that backed Ocasio-Cortez, has already announced its support for challengers to Cooler and Representative Eliot Engel, but has yet to recruit more candidates or spell out how it intends to support challengers. Meanwhile, the DCCC, the House Democrats' campaign arm, has said that it will not do business with consultants who work with primary challengers, a restriction that has infuriated progressives. Now, we've talked about that. We've talked about that on this show. That's something that we've talked about. And that is a new rule. They will not, if you are supporting, working with progressives who are challenging incumbents, they will not support you. That's something they won't do. So what does that mean? Well, you guys know me. I'm a big punk rock fan. And what punk rockers would do, and still do to this day, you know, the radio didn't want to play them. The establishment record label, and I shouldn't say establishment, but the major labels, they didn't want to work with them either. So what did they do? Well, they built their own infrastructure. That's what they did. They did their own thing. They built their own infrastructure. They started their own labels. They started their own circuits, and they did their own thing. Well, that's what needs to happen here in the political running for office sense. The DCCC doesn't want to work with people who are challenging incumbents. They want to just keep the old guard in check. They don't want to move it all. Okay, so it's time to build a new structure. There's all kinds of brilliant people that worked on progressive campaigns, that worked on those challenging incumbents. And a lot of those people did lose because they were up against the establishment, but it ain't over yet. They're going to try again. So it's time to build a new infrastructure. It's time to build an independent progressive version of the DCCC, which, by the way, is already happening. That's already in existence. So the DCCC doesn't want to work with people challenging incumbents. Who gives a shit? Then ignore the DCCC. It's time to build a new infrastructure. And I know that's going to take time. I know that's going to take effort. But it's already happening, and it needs to continue. You keep doing it, eventually you compete with them. I'm sure somebody told Fugazi that, hey, if you're not getting played on the radio and you're just doing your own music and doing your own labels and touring independently, you're never going to sell more tickets than somebody on a major label. You know how many major label acts Fugazi outsold throughout their entire career? A lot. A lot is the answer. There are tons of bands out there that got $1 million push and ended up doing nothing. Meanwhile, Fugazi sells out venues on their own terms and did it for years and years. Could still be doing it, but, you know, Ian MacKay's moved on to other things. So you get the idea. It's the same premise here. Let's start building our own network. And it's already been happening. So that's what needs to happen. Because the establishment doesn't want to participate with progressives trying to challenge the incumbents. So time to do it DIY style. And it's time for revolution.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news